The poets are ferried over the Styx by the boatman Phlegyas. On their way, they meet the angry Filippo Argenti, drive him off when he tries to harass them, and watch in pleasure as the others rip him to pieces. Finally, they land at the shores of inner hell, outside the walls of the city of Dis, where they are refused entry by the fallen angels. Continuing, I say that long before we'd arrived at the foot of the high tower, we raised our eyes up to the top, for there were placed two little lights, and in reply another signal flickered far away. So far the eye could hardly make it out. To the sea of all wisdom, then I turned. What does this signal mean? That other fire, what answer does it give? Who's sending them? Over the nasty water, you can find already what we're aiming for, said he, if the bog's fumes don't hide it from your sight. No arrow shot a whistling from the cord could ever fly so swiftly through the air as in that instant a small boat I saw, coming in our direction on the water, one oarsman only at her helm, who cried, "Traitor! I've got you now, you wicked soul!" Phlegyas, holler all you want, my lord replied. This time it's all in vain. You'll only have us while we cross the slough. As when a man who hears of a big fraud pulled off on him resents it, seethes with grief, so Phlegyas chafed, his anger shut inside. After my guide went down into the boat, he bade me enter too, and only then did the craft seem to carry any weight. Soon as my guide and I were in the skiff, the ancient prow went cutting through more water than when it ferried the other souls across. While we were racing over the dead pond, before me rose a spirit full of slime. "And who are you who have come before your hour?" And I to him, "I've come, but not to stay. Who are you, made ugly by such filth?" "Look for yourself," said he. "I'm one who weeps." And I said to him, "Well, then, accursed spirit, keep to your weeping and your misery. I know you, fouled and mucked though you may be." Then he flung out both hands to grab the skiff. At that, my wary teacher shoved him off. "Get out of there! Run with the other dogs." Then round my neck he clasped me in his arms and kissed my face and said, "Indignant soul, blessed be she whose womb bore fruit in you. That man on earth was full of arrogance. No good or gracious deed adorns his name, and so his shade is full of fury here. Up there, how many think themselves great kings, who will be stuck like swine here in this sty, leaving a name to spit on in contempt. Teacher, I've got a hankering," said I, "to see them dunk that spirit in the swill before we leave the lake and disembark." And he replied, "You will enjoy your fill before the farther beach comes into sight. Such a desire is good to satisfy." Soon after that, I saw the mud Malay rake him apart, just as I could have wished, for which I praise and thank God to this day. "Get Filippo Argenti!" they all yelled, and that short-tempered shade from Florence turned gnashing his teeth against his peevish self, and we left him there. Of him I tell no more. But such a cry of grief pounded my ears, I fixed my gaze wide-eyed to see the shore. The good teacher advised me, "Now, my son, we draw near to the city they call Dis, with its great hosts, with its grave citizens. Teacher, said I, already I discern the turrets of its mosques behind the moat. Like iron from the forge they glow and burn. And he replied, the everlasting flames its heart ignites, make it as red as fire, flaring within these nether depths of hell. We sped along into the deep-trenched moats that fortify that never-solaced land. The city seemed to loom with iron walls. Not without taking first a long turn round, we came to where the strapping boatman cried, Out! Here's the entrance! Here's where you get off! More than 1,000 of those angels rained from heaven, I saw upon the garrison, jeering, Who is this who has no death to show but travels through the kingdom of the dead? And my wise teacher made a sign to say that he desired to speak with them aside, more closely than they played their mighty scorn, and said, You come alone, and let him go, who was so hot to come into this rain. Let him go back alone on his mad way. Let him try if he can, for you who've led him down so dark a country, here you'll stay. Consider, reader, whether I was not distressed on hearing those accursed words, for I believed I never would return. Beloved guide, you who have given me assurance 7 times and more, and saved me from the greatest dangers in my way, said I, don't leave me so undone and lost. If we are not permitted to go on, let's trace our footsteps back again at once. And that Lord, who had guided me so far, said, Have no fear. No one can take from us our passage on, granted by one so great. Wait for me here, and feed upon good hope to fortify your soul in its fatigue. I will not leave you in the lower world. So saying, the sweet father goes his way, leaves me behind, while I remain in doubt, with yes and no at combat in my head. I couldn't hear the words he put to them, but not long would they stand with him in place, when back inside the gates they scrambled, where our adversary slammed them in the face of my good master, who remained outside and turned to me with slow and measured steps. His eyes were bowed to earth. His brow was shorn of all its boldness, as he sighed and said, Who are these here to block my going down to the houses of pain? But you, to me, ignore my anger, no dismay. They'll bustle to fight it, but I'll have the victory. This insolence of theirs is nothing new. They showed it once at a less secret gate, whose locks and bars stand broken even now. On it are etched those words of death you saw. Already, someone's coming down the slope, passing through all the rings without a guide, one who will breach these city gates for us.